So, some common misconceptions that I kind of don't uphold to in my own personal traditions of Druidism. First and foremost, the idea of, like I say, human sacrifice. Talked a little bit about that in the first introduction. And I just, all of the accounts of the Romans are primarily from Gaul. The Gaulish Druids, what's now France, and the Romans were the arch enemy of the Druids, and they were not portrayed in a very good light by them, and those are the classical resources that we rely on. And assuming that such did occur through the observations in the Gallic Wars, let us then remove ourselves to Britain and Ireland and places like that where evidence of such just seems a little bit more ludicrous to associate with. Secondly, that the Druid histories were in fact written down. This is another misconception. That was the entire one of the points of the Agam script, and the possibility that the Druidic libraries consisted of dried and preserved leaves hung on a rope, which has been alleged in some sources. Each species of leaf represented a certain letter of the alphabet, and ruined remains of the Agam script can be found throughout Britain, Ireland, and some even in North America, interestingly enough. To make it the Agam system complete and perfect, of course, only the Druids were learned in its language and usage, and it could even be spoken with hand signals, gestures, and so forth. The Romans sought to destroy all evidence of the Druids, that they ever existed, that they had anything to offer, that their traditions were ever documented, and the Roman soldiers were fed with vengeance when they fought the Celts, a feeling that they spent 1,000 years trying to annihilate this culture and left them in ruins. The Celts had been driven too by an inner power that the Romans had never encountered before. So, the Romans eventually were able to justify these slayings in the name of Christianity, but they eventually classify these Druids as devil worshippers and so forth. And another misconception. And on the subject of worship, one of my other points would be that Druidism is not, never was, or should it be, a religion. Instead, it is kind of a fraternity or brotherhood with an equally significant sorority in history, the Motherhood of Avalon as an example. It was an organization for the elite, the above average, those who became morally trained in a secret society, in the ways of occultism, and such organizations still exist today, and share in this lineage of secret societies, actually. The Druids never worshipped anything other than the one source of all being in creation, the ever-permeating source of existence, the unifying the field, mind you, that of which all things are interconnected and related on a higher plane. This was the creator in the form that each individual would come to identify on their own, so therefore you find manifestations of the all within each creation. So you find tree, animal, all natural beings considered another face of the one God. So another misconception about the paganism of the Druidry. Druids are an interesting archetype, to say the least. For all of recorded time, there has always been someone or some group or some locale claiming to be Druidic, and in spite of this, or maybe because of it, the hardcore lineage and true sources of practical Druidry cannot be ascertained, and Druidry can be best described as almost a niche. It comes naturally to those people that are drawn to it or not, and beyond that, the rest more or less seems up to you.